Now I'm going to the passenger side rear tire. Jacking it up right there. I loosened up the lug nuts first before I'm going to jack it up, and then we'll take the tire off. I dug out the jack stand that I forgot I had and put that under there. Right up there if you wanna. Right up there if you wanna see where I put it. So before taking the tire off, I wanted to spin it and see what it sounded like. And this one sounds a bit rough. Hear that? So it could be our problem. I'll take the tire off and see what's back there. So something I noticed when taking this one off, there's little glittery metal shavings down in this, yeah, there you can kind of see it. But they're down in here. So I'd assume that something's rubbing on this one. I mean, it looks like there's still some brake pad, but it's getting pretty thin. So also looking around here, I see little glittery metal shavings throughout this whole area. There's just see little glimpses of it shining. So I'll make sure it's nothing rubbing, but it seems to me that it's the brake pads. And then looking at this rear brake pad, it looks like it's even thinner than the front one, so definitely going to be changing that because I'm pretty sure that's the problem. Alright, so I got it jacked up. I got blocked in front of all the tires, and other than the one that I'm working on, of course. And I'm ready to start by taking that screw out, and then we'll remove the caliper and the bracket. I'm going to be replacing the rotor and the pads. Alright, so just to start off, we'll get that screw out. Came out pretty simple. Alright, next I'm going to take these two 14mm bolts out right here. Alright, so I got the bolts out. I did have to put the 14mm wrench on there and then hammer it with the hammer because it was rather tight, so that got it broke loose. So next, just gonna pull this out and kind of set it out of the way. And you gotta be careful because it has that hose on there, so I'm gonna set it down and out of the way over here. I'm gonna get it secure. That's where I set my caliper so it wouldn't go anywhere, just so you know. Alright, so now I'm going to pop off the brake pads. And these are really brittle, they're just falling apart. There we go. So, here's the old pad. It's worn all the way down to the squealer there. So that's why it's making all that noise. So good thing we found the problem and we'll be getting it fixed. And as far as the rotors, they look like they got plenty of life left in them, but they need turned, and I can't take the rotor somewhere to be turned and then drive there in a car that doesn't have a rotor. So I'm just going to be replacing it. Alright, so I take these clips out. Alright. And I'll be cleaning those. And then next I need to take out 2 more 14mm bolts. Back here, I got one right there, and one right there. So take those out next. So I had to get a wrench and hammer on these bolts also because they're pretty well seized up. So I'm taking these 2 bolts out back here now, and this bracket will just come off. So next step is to clean everything up. Oh, and then this drum just pulls out. And looks like I got quite a bit of pad left on those, so we're good there. Alright, so the rotor came with a lot of crap on the brake surface area, so brake pad surface area. I gotta spray all that crap off. Got some brake cleaner here. Get all that grease and debris out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the new rotor on. Next is put that screw back in and clean off all the other hardware and put it back on. Alright, so I also need to pop this grommet out and move it over to the new one. Alright, so I got the screw back in, the grommet taken off the old rotor and put back on the new one. So I just want to clean these parts off that the brakes are going to be sliding on and up against. Alright, next thing I want to do is pop these pins out and lube them up. I'll clean off the old lube and then reapply some new. Just going to use a brake lubricant. Push it. Okay. Alright, looks good. Alright, now I got that bracket cleaned up and lubed up. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. So I need to compress the piston on the caliper here. I got a C-clamp and then I just used one of the old brake pads right there and then compress it down, and it shouldn't be tight when you go to push it in. So I'll be pushing that down and then move on. Alright, so got the piston compressed back in. Just want to clean up the surface there a little bit. Be careful of the boot. Don't. So clean the other surface that's going to be making contact with other parts here. So these clips that I took out, I want to lube those up and put those back in. Alright, so I got the these clips set back in there. Now I'm going to put the brake pads in. I got the one with the screecher. I'm going to put that on back here. Alright, so I'm going to put this front one in first. Good. Oh. So you definitely want them to where they slide. So that one's definitely sliding. Now I'll put the back one in. You don't want to touch the pads. You don't want to get any oil on them. Slide. So there we go. Those are in. Alright. As far as the caliper, I got the piston compressed there. Now I'll put some brake grease on the part of the piston that's going to make contact with the brake pad, and also the back part here. These two fingers that are going to be rubbing against the brake pads. Alright. And then we'll put this on. Alright. So I'm going to install these 14mm bolts in the back here, and I've been putting anti-seize on all the bolts that I put in so that they don't lock up.